Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. What's today's topic? Well, we've been talking about in the last couple of videos ways that you can save money on Amazon, ways that you can save money out at Harbor Freight. Today we'll talk about Home Depot. And there's a reason for that. I really like shopping on Amazon. I like the convenience of it just showing up at my door. As long as I know what I'm buying, it's kind of hassle-free and it's convenient. The other thing is I like shopping out at Harbor Freight. Not for everything, and you know that from my videos because I tell you the truth. Because I belong to a couple of forums and a club where we demo tools and talk about them. And, I make notes and I, bring the content to you folks. So that's another good place that, I like to shop and I like to look at their tools. But now let's talk about Home Depot. And are there ways that you can save money shopping at Home Depot? Because that's probably another one of my favorite places that I like to go to when I need tools or lumber or anything like that. So we'll go through them one by one. We'll start with the most obvious. One of the most obvious anyway is you can get a military discount if you are out of the military. But you have to register and do the online application for it ahead of time before you actually go out and want it applied to anything that you're buying. And I believe it's 10%. Okay, the next item is their low price guarantee. And they'll match any low price, whether it's online or, like I've told people, hang on to your receipt. Wait a couple of weeks. If the price drops, go out, show it to them at the customer service desk, and they will refund you the difference. So I think that that's a great thing. Especially if you can take advantage of any kind of a discount like that you find online, you can show it to them. When's the optimal time to shop out at Home Depot? Well, they do, I don't want to say all the time, but I talked to somebody and they said, look, the majority of the Home Depots, they do their store stocking on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that would mean if you want optimal stocking or whatever, when you want to go out and purchase something, it would be the weekends. Now, I don't so much do that. When I need something, I go. They usually tend to have it. But, it's worth noting that's when they stock the store. Now, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, all these places, they have many, many, many products. And they're not always what's in the store. You have to go online and you'll see they have a huge array of like appliances and manufacturers and things like that you don't typically see within the store, but you are able, if you know what you want to buy, to go ahead and buy it online. And they either ship it for free or they'll ship it to the store for free. And that can save you money too, depending on, how big of an item it is that you want or how specific you want to be. Because like I said, you might not always find it in the store. They can't possibly carry every brand and every manufacturer. So it's worth looking online if you're going to make, kind of like a major purchase like that. It'll save you some money, at least on the shipping. And sometimes they even provide discounts online for these different items. And now when we're talking about larger appliances, there was a while back I wanted another refrigerator, but I didn't want to pay full retail because I was going to put it out in the garage to put excess drinks and things like that in. And so I went between Lowe's and Home Depot, and sometimes the displays, they'll sell those at discount, especially if there's some kind of a blemish. On the one that I bought, I don't remember the exact discount, but it was discounted down quite a bit because it had a scratch down the left side of it. And in my mind, I knew where I was going to put it in the garage, and while it's going in the garage anyway, I really didn't care about the scratch, but I did like the idea of the discount. You still get the full warranty. So I went ahead and bought it that way. But that's hit and miss. But, if you're thinking about replacing something down the line, you might want to keep your eye open for, those discounts on the floor models and the blemished items. Now, if you go to the Home Depot website, you'll see that there's a section for daily online discounts where they usually will pick an item and it's discounted for that day. And so if you're interested in that item, I suppose it's another way you can save a few extra bucks. Now, I don't always do that, but people out at the club say, they always take a look online, whenever they can to see what that daily discounted item is. Okay, now let's talk about the paint section for a second, where they mix paints. Sometimes somebody comes in, they brought a sample, they want it, mixed and matched. Sometimes that color isn't exactly matched, the person doesn't want it. And so it's turned around and it's put into it's put onto a pallet. And the price is discounted way down because, well, they can't sell it to anybody else. And so when I was thinking about painting the garage a long time back, I thought it doesn't matter, it's the garage, I'm not that particular. And I bought several of these discounted gallons, but I was careful about the color. I mean, one was white, the other was like a dark brownish kind of a color, and the other one was close to that color but had a little red in it. And anyway, I picked them up at a ridiculous discounted price, brought them home, poured them into a 5-gallon bucket, stirred it all up, painted the garage. It looks fine for the garage, Would I have done that on the interior? Probably not. You're going to be a little bit more particular about it. But that's another way that you can save a significant amount of money. Take a look at the mix matched paint section. And even if, you're planning that garage project out maybe a month or so, you pick up a gallon today and a gallon or two over the next couple of weeks. I'm just saying you can save quite a bit of money by utilizing, this messed up mixed paint section. And yeah, that's what I did. Now, lighting is another section in the store because Home Depot is like really heavy into their lighting products. And they're always, I don't want to say discontinuing, but they're always having sales on different things, and they're removing one line and bringing in another and stuff like that. And so if you have a lighting project coming up or downstream, just remember when you go in the store, walk through the lighting section and see what their specials are, because they do run them frequently because, like I said, they're super into their lighting products. What about rebates? Okay, that's something that you can search online on the Home Depot website and take a look for rebates on products that they have. And you can do everything that you need to do to take advantage of the rebate online before you go into the store to actually purchase that product. So that's not something I've done regularly, but they were telling me out at the club it's really worth keeping an eye on because that can save you money too, the rebated items. Okay, what about taking advantage of discounts on, on damaged items? Well, as you're going through the sections, you might find something that's been opened up, doesn't appear to be damaged, but, it's going to be considered, a damaged good because the packing or the wrapping or whatever has been torn off of it, and somebody looked at it and just put it back on the shelf. You can ask one of the customer service people or one of the associates there about it, and many times the price is discounted down because they consider it at that point to be a damaged item. So you can make them an offer of less, but a lot of times they have the latitude just to go ahead and discount it down for you a certain percent, themselves, and you can see what that is and then make the determination if you want to buy it. But you do need to ask. The lumber section. Okay, now when I was building some shelving in my garage, this isn't for interior work, there's a section of most all these Home Depots, they call it the cast off lumber section. It's usually in the back, and this is where you're going to find wood that came in, whether it was warped, damaged, severe crack, twisted. There's going to be a problem with it, and it's up to like 70% off a lot of times, discounted way down. And maybe I don't need all of that, and a large part of it is not damaged, but the cost savings is significant. And so I'll go out and I'll look through, like if I'm doing a project, or like I said, out in the garage, even if I have to wait a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and I keep looking at that cast off section, and I've saved quite a bit of money by taking advantage of buying the wood there that has these huge discounts, because to them it's no good. It'll just be thrown out, going to a chipper shredder or whatever happens with them. So they're more than happy to discount this way down and get something rather than nothing. So I always keep an eye on that section when I have a project that I'm going, like I said, that I'm going to build, especially out in the garage or, along the wall. When you guys saw me on one of the videos where I built that massive workbench, I got a lot of that from that cast off lumber section. And no, you're not going to use it for furniture building or anything like that. But I'm saying just, for round, rough projects and stuff like that, you could save a significant amount of money. That was my point. Okay, let's talk about their price tag system that they have out there, and I'll show you some photos. Whenever you see that yellow sticker, and I'll show you an example. That means it's on sale. Okay, well, gee, that's a no-brainer. I mean, everybody knows that. Now, if you see one of these with the yellow sticker and it's on sale and it ends with a 6, okay, that means that they're going to discontinue the item and it's got 6 weeks to go before they discontinue it. Now, if the price ends with a 3, that means they're going to discontinue the item and it's only got 3 weeks to go. And then what happens after the 3 weeks? Well, it's considered to be like off of their books and discontinued. And then it's radically dropped in price or almost like next to nothing. And they put it out on one of the end caps or they do something else with it. So you have to keep an eye on the end caps and where they keep like these drastically discounted items, or ask one of the store associates. They'll tell you once you're familiar with where it's at in the store, because they can differ where they put these items. You know, you'll always know when you go in there to go by and take a look and see how much these things have been discounted way down in price. And if you're lucky and it's still there, then you might score a really good deal. Now, they did make mention that, like on these discounted ones, when they reach the end of this cycle or whatever, they can also drop them down to 1 penny. I've heard that more than from one source, but like out at my Home Depot, I've never seen it. Even when I've asked the associates about it, they just kind of looked at me and smiled and said, well, yeah, we hear that too, but we don't really do that. We just drop the price way, way down and it eventually just moves, it goes. Okay, so maybe your store where you're at, maybe they do that. I don't know, you have to check into that. Now, you can go to the Home Depot site and you can kind of subscribe by giving them your email address. And what good does that do you? Well, the people, I haven't done this, but the people out at the club, and I'm going to look into it, actually do this. And twice a year, they will send you a 10% off coupon for anything in the store that you go buy. Okay, so that's a good cost savings idea. I didn't know that until we were all sitting around talking about it, but I'll check into it. But I wanted to pass it on to you folks. You can check into it too. You just subscribe by giving them your email. And, well, hopefully you get that 10% coupon. That's a good cost savings right there. Okay, now for a lot of us DIYers or home hobby kind of people or whatever, and we're not in the trades, they do have workshops. Now, the workshops can be sometimes for kids, and they do fun projects and things like that. And sometimes they're for adults, and they're run by experts. And they're not going to show you every single facet of how to do something, but they're going to show you like plumbing, electrical, maybe drywall, maybe some simple woodworking things that you can do. But the advantage is they're showing you and teaching you how to do it with what tools, and they're experts. Now, I've gone in there before. I haven't gone through the workshops, but I've been in there at the end of the workshops. I see who the person is who was teaching the class, and I walked over to him, and I was talking to him about connecting electrical conduit. He was more than happy to show me what product, quickly he showed me what products to buy, how to use it, and I thought this is great. So Home Depot, if you search them out, they do have experts there that can help you with these projects. And, if you're interested, go to the workshop. They're about 90 minutes, I think, long, and some of them are very interesting and probably very helpful. What about shipping? Well, we talked about that, and I know that, like, if you buy stuff online from them, a lot of times it will either ship free to the store, or depending on what it is, let's say an appliance, for example, it'll provide free shipping to your home. And if, like I said, if not to your home, to Home Depot. And so that can save you quite a bit, not having to worry about the shipping costs. Okay, now another thing that I liked in dealing, I had the workbenches that I was telling you. I made a massive workbench outside along the house. And when I went out there, I bought some 3/4-inch plywood. And I thought when I get home, yeah, I can use a straight edge and I can use a skill saw because I don't have any big industrial table saws or anything like that, and I can cut it that way. Yeah, that's very possible. But they offer a free wood cutting service there. Now, they've got a radial arm saw, and the other one is they have a panel saw. And so it differs from what I'm told. I mean, some people say it's like, 2 cuts free, per each purchase. And somebody else said, well, it's up to 10 cuts per visit. So I'm not clear on that, but I mean, I know that whether it was 2 or 10, it's free. So I was able to give them the exact dimensions of what I wanted that I was going to cut for this big, long bench. And they cut it for me, and they didn't charge me. And it was more than 2 cuts, but they wanted, I think it was like 4 or 5 cuts. Anyway, so they cut it for me, helped me put it on the cart. I paid for it, came home. It made that project and that day go much smoother because I literally just walked them off from, the truck and set them on top of, the framing and secured, to the top and made my bench. So that's a good cost savings idea, or at least it saves you some labor and hassle to know that they can do free cuts. Now, if you're lucky, they say that the demo, like on the power tools, you can get as much as 50% off when you're getting ready to sell them and let's say get rid of them. Okay, but you have to be lucky enough to be there when that happens. I haven't had that happen, but other people tell me, no, it's very possible. You just have to keep your eye out for when they're going to discontinue or they want to remove, that particular power tool. Tool rentals that they have there, that can be another good source of saving money because they have like power washers, jackhammers, airless paint sprayers, power washers, all kinds of equipment. And it's like, I don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but that tool for right now would save me a lot of hassle. I really need it, or whatever's going through my mind. And you go, well, I'm going to rent it rather than buy it. Okay. And so you think there's an automatic cost savings there. Well, you can get a little bit more. I planned the project out ahead of time. I was going to add a neighbor and was helping them power wash their driveway. So we got everything off of the driveway. We got it all cleared out because they were going to do this special resurfacing kind of a thing. And we went out and we rented it. Now, the contract or the agreement will be for 24 hours, but we had it all planned out. That way we returned it within 4 hours, and then you get half of that back. So there's a cost savings there too if you can plan the project out to complete it within the 4 hours. If you can't, even if we had to pay the 8 hours, it's still a hell of a deal rather than hiring somebody or buying a power washer. So, and they have many, many tools out there. Go into your Home Depot's tool rental section, take a look around, get a feel for what they rent, because they do rent a significant amount of tools. Well, what if they don't want to deliver it to your home for free, whatever you're buying online, or maybe you bought it in the store? And okay, well, one thought you can think of is they have $19 an hour truck rental. I mean, you have to go, get your agreement going and what time you're going to pick it up and return it and all this other stuff. And so there is a cost savings there because if you were to go to U.S. rentals or probably even U-Haul and all these places, they'll rent it to you for $20 a day. And then they charge you $1 or more for mileage and whatever other surcharges there might be. But I know they at least charge you for mileage on top of that. See, Home Depot doesn't do that. It's just a flat rate. I mean, it's like $19 an hour. So, you take the truck, load the appliance or whatever up. Again, plan it out ahead of time, bring it home, offload it, take the truck back. You're within the hour. It only costs you $19-20. I mean, look, that's a cost savings. You didn't have to go rent a truck, bother a friend if you didn't want to, or anything like that. So that's worth looking into and remembering also. Now, in all the Home Depots, you got all your checkout stands. And in mine, the customer service is like way up towards the entrance. And then they have a contractor's desk like way down where the lumber is. And they have a thing, it's called Pro Extra Discount. They're not going to ask you for your contractor's license or any kind of licensing. They don't do that. But where you can get a significant cost savings, and I think you have to check with them. You have to buy at least $1,500 worth of stuff. I built on a bathroom at my house. And so when I did that, when it came to like the inside of the bathroom, I was easily going to spend that amount of money. Between the vanity, the lighting, I needed electrical wire, I need the shower handles, the shower head, towel racks. I had a great big massive vanity kind of mirror thing with like 3 big doors and all that stuff. Anyway, I went over there with my building materials list and I gave it to them, and they will give you a quote. And in that quote, they'll give you a pretty good discount, for getting all of those items at one time. And so, again, it ships to the store, and all you have to do is just pick them up, bring them home, rent the truck, do whatever you got to do. And they didn't ship, to my home that way. So in my case, I went and picked them up from out there. Like I said, they may have other arrangements where they'll ship it to your house if you want to, and whether or not there's a charge, I don't know. But my point is that Pro Extra discount that you get from that contractor's counter is worth keeping in mind, because otherwise you would have went out and bought it a couple pieces at a time here and there, eventually got the stuff home, and you would have paid, like, I don't want to say full retail because you could have gotten a discount, but if you go to the contractor's desk, give them the list, it's not costing you anything, you've already priced it out. If you did your due diligence, let them price it out for you. And I've done this two times now, and I've always gotten a really good discount by ordering it like in bulk, we'll say, or by one lot of all these things that I needed. So it's worth thinking about. How much of a discount? Okay, the last time I got close to 30% off, but even if I got 10% off, I would have been okay with that. And the question out at the club, they told me at the contractor's desk, this applies to all of these things that I'm telling you about in building materials. It does not apply to tools. So if you're doing a project, you can't add in a bunch of Makita tools and think they're going to give you a discount on those items. They won't do it. This is for all of the building materials and things like that. It still saves you money. That's my point. It's worth considering. All right, folks, I'm going to let you go. It wasn't meant to be a long video. Again, like I said, those are probably 3 of my favorite places that I really like shopping. Between, Amazon, Harbor Freight, Home Depot, sometimes Lowe's. I'm not discounting, all these things. You may be applied at Lowe's too. I don't know. I'm just focusing on Home Depot today, but if you can do some of these things at Lowe's, hey, I think that's great. But these are kind of like my 3 go-tos because in the area where I'm at, they're close to me. So. And I like them for different reasons, like I said, whether it's shipping or convenience or whatever, but all of them have great return policies either way. That's another thing that's a big plus to me in case something is not right, or even if I bought the wrong product and I need to take it back and exchange it for the right one. These 3 places, and I'm sure Lowe's, we can add the 4th, no hassle, refund, switch it out, exchange it, whatever. So they're all good places to shop at. All right, folks. Well, I'm the home handyman. Meant to try to make this as short as I could and get right to the point. I hope you click subscribe, keep following me. If you can figure out a way to save more money at these places, drop it in the comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.